Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke Challenge. In the last episode, I played Postman, went postal on Dewford's Gym, and made it to Slateport City. In this episode, I'm going to the post office. Well, actually it's the Pokemart, but I do need to buy something here. If you go in here and buy a Harbor Mail, which is the only town that'll sell it, an NPC of the next town will be asking for one. It's not required, but you do miss out on something cool if you don't. Our next stop is in the beach south of here. I really wish I could just relax in the sun and drink some pineco coladas, but I do have a lot to do. Still, I guess I could stop for a soda. In here, if you defeat the trainers inside the Soda Shack, the owner will give you a 6-pack of soda. Unfortunately, you can't drink the soda yourself, but it's more for your Pokemon, which is a cheaper, more cost-effective potion, which I recommend getting a ton of it to save on money so you don't have to buy super potions. So apparently Pokemon like soda as much as I do. I like soda myself, but I hate that places have contracts forcing you either to drink Pepsi or Coke. If you've been around as long as I have, you'll see a pattern. Too bad Japan gets all those weird flavors, while the States get a small selection. Now that I'm back here in Slateport, if you recall in the last episode, Team Magma were crowding a place. Right now the bad guy rejects will block the entrance, so what we need to do is go to the building south of here and enter the shipyard. The game does not explicitly tell you to do this, but that's the reason I'm here for. It's bad enough they make me go around all over Hoenn just to deliver this item, and yet now he's making me divert into somewhere else. As you can see, the grunts are gone, and so now we can enter here, in the Oceanic Museum. It is a place of serene and elegance. You will find not only great works of art, but models of technological wonder and achievement. Even the music can put your mind at ease with its soothing sound. It is a shame for the place to be filled with such unrefined thugs. The museum has some interesting things to look, but the one piece that I found intriguing is this: the model of the SS Anne, a ship that has made numerous appearances in both games and anime. I was wondering what took you guys so long. Having trouble finding the stairs? If you're gonna take me, you're gonna have to do it over Captain Stern's dead body. As if it was not obvious already, we have a required battle with Magma Grunts. And hey, what do you know? Someone in Team Magma is actually using a fire type, which is Nummo, a fire ground type. It is a defensive Pokemon that is really weak to water. It's funny since the small number of fire types in the game, but there's a ton of water. You would think they would have trouble getting anything done. It's probably why I took this guy down so fast. I did not even get to use Fenric. Why couldn't both of you just have fought me at the same time? It would have saved me more time in the long run. Jeez, I hope I don't have to fight every grunt in the building. Yeah, noble cause translates to a cult. I will destroy you, Maxie. On our way out, you will find an amusing Magma member by his lonely self. Talking to him will give you TM46, which is Thief, a dark move attack that will steal an opponent's item except for trainers. Too bad though, as I would use it otherwise. Dark type moves is another type that was really weak in this generation since it was special oriented, even though most dark type Pokemon were physical based. They were supposed to be a counter to psychic Pokemon who were overpowered in older games, but in my opinion, they still pretty much dominated up until Diamond and Pearl came out. Well, we're done delivering the goods. Speaking of which, do you know what the so-called goods and letter we traveled half around the region to deliver are for? In truth, the letter is a code that will be relevant until after the challenge, but the goods are in fact ship parts for a submarine. A submarine that'll serve some purpose to Team Magma and its leader Maxie. As you read it, he intends to increase the landmass, just like Lex Luthor in the Bad Superman Returns movie. Or in the original, if you're old enough to remember. So in America, it's all about real estate, and apparently also in Pokemon. We have here is a new Pokemon, Plusle! It is an electric Pikachu ripoff that's supposed to be used with its opposite called Minun. Why the game made this a single battle instead of a tank battle is beyond me. As a team, they have the ability to increase their stats and know moves that support each other like Helping Hand. It is an interesting idea on paper, but because both have relatively low stats, neither of them merit having on a player's roster. I would say these two were more of an experiment on double battles that the developers abandoned at some point. I have no proof, so don't quote me on that. In here on this new route, you could do a few interesting things, such as this place. Which I had to admit, I love the place's music. It's upbeat and it fits the name, which is the Trick House. I give this guy credit, he sure knows how to make an exit. As for his invitation, I would take it, but it would be easier just to cover it in a bonus episode. As he mentioned, the place is the Trick House, which essentially is a place that makes you solve puzzles, fight trainers, and traverse his maze. It has about 6 levels of puzzles and a good place to train. I'd recommend going there if you need experience, but keep in mind that accessing some levels require an HM move and defeating a certain gym leader to access them. Oh boy, right here we have a tough battle with May. I find her more difficult than most gym leaders, probably because she has some variety and has more than one type coverage. That's saying that her first Pokemon is Wailmer, a water type with high HP and decent overall stats. This jerk also knows Rollout. If anyone's ever played Gold, Silver, or the remix, they should know how evil this is. Rollout starts as weak and then it doubles in damage every turn. I'd recommend finding a way to interrupt the attack or just kill it fast. It is a rock move, so ground and steel types resist it, which I know I'm not taking my advice here, but I will warn you that whoever you have to counter her starter, you better have it at peak condition. Interesting little tidbit is that there's a side event in the game that is later in the story. It'll require you using an evolved version of Wailmer and another hard to find Pokemon. It is well hidden at the time when the game came out, and it had to do with the letter I delivered to Steven. I'll be covering that interesting bit in a bonus episode. That's saying that her strongest Pokemon is Grovyle. As I mentioned before, it is a grass type that excels in attack and speed, but since grass is special in this game, you will feel less of the pain. The move that you should be concerned though is Pursue, which by itself is weak, but if you attempt to switch out, you'll get double damage before switching and likely losing a teammate. Thankfully, flying moves do double damage, and somehow I survived this onslaught. Also keep in mind that it knows quick attack, which means it allows it to attack first, so don't assume you can win a fight just because you think you outspeed it. And so after that hard fight, you end up getting a little bit of leverage with her last Pokemon Nummo, which I've already covered. All you have to do really is just spray it with water and he should go down pretty fast. Overall, in terms of difficulty, May will give you a run for her money and a dangerous problem for a Nuzlocke challenge. It would not be surprising if she knocked out a few Pokemon in the process. Good thing I carefully planned all my moves here. I find it amusing that she can talk like that as if we've been friends for years. First Pokemon on this route is Electrite. She is a good Pokemon with stats overall and has either the static ability, which means you become paralyzed by hitting it, or the lightning rod ability, which means that it attracts electric attacks. A fairly good Pokemon to have and worth catching. Also, it adds a good variety to my typing in my team. Also, another handy thing about Electrite is that she knows Thunder Wave, which is a move that paralyzes the foe instantly. This is good for catching other Pokemon, cutting an opponent's speed by 25%, and having a 1 in 4 chance of the opponent not making a move. I would say of all the new Pokemon here in Hoenn, this guy is probably the best electric type you can find. The only other ones is the Plus and Minnow that I talked about earlier, which I told you wasn't that good, and a water type that's also electric, but I already have enough water types as it is. As to the rules, I decided to nickname it Phosphora. I was going to call it Thor, but it's a woman, so I went with another electrifying name from a game I like to play. Okay, now that I caught one, it's time to repel and blitz through here. I just had to jinx it. I'm just gonna skip it because it was pointless anyways. While on this route, there's a lot of trainers that battle for experience, not only here but above us as well, as there is a bike route. The only issue is we need a bike, which we could find here in Malville City. First thing though, we need to deliver that harbor mail that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. By trading her, she will give you the coin case. It is an item that allows you to gamble, which I will go over the casino aspect of the game at another time. I will say this though, that the mechanic has been a debated issue in Pokemon, mainly since you have to consider that these games were meant for kids. I will go into detail about it, but when I go over the casino aspect in another episode. Hey look, it's Wally. What's he doing here? What a polite guy. At least you asked me for a battle instead of just going straight into it like that barbaric girl I know. We have here is a battle with Wally. He only has the Ralts with him and should not be any problem. Keep in mind Ralts is a psychic type, so don't use any poison or fighting against it. I give him credit for thinking about taking on this gym, but if all he has is Ralts, then he will be in for a rude awakening. Especially this gym. I will warn you that this is going to be the hardest and probably the most frustrating one that anyone will have to deal with. And like that, Wally is out of our hair. I would challenge the gym now, but that'll take a while. For the last thing I'll do is that it's over here at the right of the gym. To the right, to the right. His name is Rido. Is every name here a pun? Not a good way to entice a customer. By talking to him, he gives you a bike free of charge. So he is the first person in Hoenn who is not asking me for favors. I say he's okay in my book, despite him insulting my shoes. Though you can win a guy over with a free gift. Also, if you want to attract customers, it's always good to leave out a spread of food or something, some freebie stuff. That way they're more interested in coming to your business. Signs and banners are not always sufficient in getting customers. People always want free stuff. The bike you choose will determine the alternate routes you take while trying. I'm going with the Acro now, but the Mac PC. Anyways, the Mach is preferred to take shortcuts. So with the bike at hand, I think that's enough for one episode. So in style, next time in Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke, I'm gonna take on the 3rd gym and visit Wally in Vertner Town. See ya later. Bye.